Welcome back to the railroad. Today we're going to take you on a little journey. It's a story of a little trolley. This one that we acquired a couple of years ago. So come on aboard and enjoy. Today we're going to explore the story of our little trolley. Although not a true representation of its ancestor, it nevertheless commemorates a time in the early years of the 20th century when most urban areas used trolleys as primary city transportation. In the city of Huntsville, Alabama, trolley or streetcar service began in 1901 and continued until 1931. Our trolley is loosely based on this one and used its number 12. The Huntsville streetcar system was electrically powered through overhead wires. Our trolley, however, is diesel-powered and was built to run on an oval track at the depot park in Huntsville from 1986 until recently. After its use in the city park, our trolley was acquired by Rick Perry, owner of the Russell County Narrow Gauge Railway in Hurtsboro, Alabama. Eventually, Rick kindly donated it to us to see if it could be revived and put back into service. After almost 2 years of work, we can say that we've achieved that vision. Let's go back and start with the trolley's arrival.
And here's the trolley arriving from Hurtsboro, Alabama. The driver made it up here safely, and to get it unloaded, we're basically going to do the reverse of what we did to load it down in Alabama. As you can see by the trolley itself, there's a lot of cross bracing on it. We had to do that because we weren't sure how rugged the support beams were for the roof. So I went to the hardware store and picked up some lumber and braced that thing up real good so that we didn't have to worry about it flying off while the driver was going down the interstate, because he did not waste any time getting up here from Hurtsboro. Now, to get it unloaded, we basically did the same reverse of the way we loaded it, and we put a winch system on the front to control the unloading speed, and we put a winch system on the back so that we could pull it off in case it did get stuck on the tracks or on the trailer. And you'll see how that gets all set up here in a minute, but way over on the left there, you're going to see Justin on the four-wheeler, and he's going to be controlling the speed to keep it from rolling off the trailer too fast, and it's just going to roll right off real nice. Everything went real well with this. I've got no complaints with the entire operation. We had to spend some time getting some blocking under things and getting it so it would roll off without any problem. You can see it came off without too much trouble there, and we got her on the ground safely, and everybody's looking it over, and now the fun is going to begin. Okay, here we go. First try at starting. Let's see what happens. Yay!
Okay, we're sitting here. Joe's been playing with the trolley, and now he's got some new progress to show. Very nice. Very nice. It runs. We got the key switch hooked back up. We got the throttle cable working.
Hydraulic control valve working.
Got the hydraulic control valve working. Excellent.
Can't go anywhere yet.
Not yet. Excellent. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.
Okay, so Joe's been working on the trolley, and he's got some progress to report. We had to take the ignition switch out, and because we didn't have any keys, so cousin Phil picked the lock, made us some keys, and now that's been hooked back up, and Joe fixed the wiring problem. that was busted. And now let's do the unveil, Joe. Nice. All right. Give them a round of applause.
So once the trolley was brought into our shop, we started to examine it. We started looking it over, and we discovered a lot of rot in the roof. I've been sitting in the Alabama heat for many years. But the interesting thing is there was a lot of laminates that were used. A lot of things were glued together on the roof. So it was basically unusable the way it was. The seats were in really bad shape. So we knew all of that would have to be rebuilt. And so we decided to start tearing down the roof, and the idea was that we would start over with new material because we couldn't really save the old material. And so that was our original plan, to get the old roof off and see what could be done with the seats. We weren't sure we were even going to be able to save the seat frames that were sitting underneath the seats. You can see them here. They're the red supports underneath. We weren't sure we were going to use them. So this was the first of the disassembly process. So our trolley was built by a carnival ride company somewhere in California in 1986. And they did a lot of things to try to cut corners. A lot of components and parts that they had laying around for carnival rides were used for our trolley parts. And you can kind of see that theme as you look at the different components like the seats and the roof and the floor. So we had to get rid of a lot of that and kind of start over with something that's a little bit more substantial. And we'll get into that more in a little bit here.
And here we are coming out of the shop on our very first test run. At this point, we don't have a decent throttle control, and the way this thing was designed, it has no reverse in it. So we're just going to take it for a ride around the loop and see how it functions, see if we've got any major leaks to deal with or anything like that. The way this thing must have been designed was to operate in a situation where it only went around the circle in one direction, because, as I said, there's no reverse on it for some reason. It probably could have had a reverse if it was designed a little bit different, but as you'll see in future videos, we're going to take care of that so it does have a reverse. We decided the best route to take was to strip it right down to nothing and start over, and that'll give us the best outcome for this whole project. We're coming back into the yard, and we're pretty happy with what we've seen so far. The engine runs good. It starts right up. Well, it's a brand new engine, so it should run good. And we didn't find any major leaks, so we're pretty happy with this initial test run.
When the first test around the loop was complete, on the way back up to the shop, we had one more switch to go through, and we derailed on that switch. And what you're seeing here is the crew re-railing the power truck on the back of the trolley. And we made a very interesting discovery during this derailment about the construction of the trucks on this trolley.
Okay, back towards you just a little bit. Set her down more, though.
Doesn't put a brake under there.
Good. Hold on. Okay, take the bucket towards you.
Well,
Lift a little bit. Take the bucket towards you some more. There you go. Now set her down.
Oh, look at that.
Hang on.
Well, it's locked again. So the discovery about these trucks, as you can see here, is that they do not have normal axles. The left side of the truck frame and the right side pivot independently of each other. And that probably worked really well when it was brand new, but when we received the trolley, the one side that Joe was pushing down on here was seized up, and it would not follow the contour of the track. So this is the following spring now, the spring of 2024. And you can see we're rolling the trolley out under its own power for the first time that year. And we've got a temporary, part of our floor is down. We've got a new control stand. Todd manufactured a new tank for our hydraulic fluid in the back of the trolley near the engine, along with a lot of hoses and new fittings. So right now we're taking the trolley out for the first time to test it to make sure that the truck that Joe loosened up that was seized over the winter is operating properly, and it seems to be tracking well. He's going through the switch we derailed on in the last part of the video, and everything seems to be fine now. So the wheels are following the contours of the track, and everything seems to be good from that point of view. So we got the trolley here, and after many months of work on it, we finally got it to the point where we can do a weight test. We're trying to figure out how much weight it will handle up the steep grades we've got, especially in the back of the railroad. So we put two heavy weights on, probably over 1,500 pounds apiece, over the front and the rear axles. And we're going to take it up the hill, and we're going to have you ride along, and we'll see what happens. Okay, Joe, fire it up.
Touchdown. So tell us about the test.
The
test went wonderful. The test went really well.
Okay. So is the clunking I heard over there as you went over this.
The dip between the rails and the number 6 frogs.
Okay.
It's normal.
So
The smaller the wheels, the bigger the clunky gets.
okay. So tell us about all of the trials and tribulations we've had here with getting the.
Well, Joe, now this is where I'd like to introduce you to Joe.
Yeah.
He's going to talk a little bit about the trolley.
Yeah.
Well, it's been an experience.
Boy, did he bail out of that or what?
I know. We finally determined that the wheels were not spaced equally, so I spent quite a bit of time doing measuring and making shims and stuff so that all the wheels are the same distance apart now, and that apparently has fixed all of our problems. So I think we're in business
Cool.
now.
So to bring everybody up to speed, we got this trolley from Rick Perry back about a year ago.
August of last year.
August of last year.
2023.
And so Joe did a lot of work on the engine, the hydraulics. It's a brand new hydraulic reservoir, new filters, hoses, and it was never designed to go in reverse. And Joe added that. What else?
Never designed to go up hills either, and we figured out it can do that. So
Yeah.
that's a really good thing.
So yeah.
So today we brought it up all the way to the end of track at the moment, which is halfway up our hill in the back of the property. And the first test we did it with no weights. The second test we had weights on it, and with the weights it tracked a lot better. Obviously it's being pushed down a lot more. The one thing you can notice is that the flex in the frame, there's a lot more flex, and all the flex is showing now. Of course, most of that will be gone when we get a roof on it, once it's all stiffened up. And I don't know how that'll affect what the trucks are doing, but everything seemed to be fine.
Yeah, speaking of the trucks, they're very weird design. There's no axles.
No.
And that's been part of our challenge, and the flat part of the wheels is very narrow.
Yeah.
They're not like what we're used to with the wheels that are more mining design with lots of room for air.
Yeah.
But so this is a really exciting day.
It's a big day,
It's a big day because Rick put a lot of faith in us to get the trolley running. We put a lot of work into it, a lot of Joe's time. Kiwi worked on work for the seats, and John and Jim worked on the wood for the steps, and we got steps fixed, or the brackets repaired. You put a mesh there. We took off the old rotten wood floor, and we got a steel mesh on the bottom, the steel plating going for the floor, and so now we can continue the journey of.
Yeah, I think it's safe that we can probably proceed now, get the floor on, and
Yep.
get some seats on, then run another test before we try to put a roof on it.
Yep.
So
Very cool. Very cool.
incremental progress.
Very cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So here we see the trolley in the roofless configuration, which we decided to keep. Dave, the owner's mother, had taken a ride on the trolley and said she liked the convertible version. So we gave it some thought and decided we'd keep it that way. Earlier in this video, we had talked about how we weren't sure whether or not we were going to keep the original seat bases. And they did clean up well, and we decided to use them. We have a little trolley bell from Marc Tyler, who also donated our 2 antique headlights, which you'll see here in a minute. It's also worth mentioning that all the wood for the seats and steps came from oak trees that were cut down to make way through our track. And one of the final steps is adding our name to the front of the trolley. Eventually, we will add a commemorative plaque to the Russell County Narrow Gauge Railway, who donated the trolley to us.
Yeah, so here we are doing the final touch on the trolley car, installing some refurbished antique lights out of an old car. So first thing we had to do was cut a hole, mount a bracket back there so we could hang the light on it. Now we're putting a little piece of weather stripping around there to kind of seal between the light and the front and the back panel, so it fits nice and tight and secure and don't vibrate around going down the track. So then we're trying to get it nice and level so it's nice and straight. So it's just perfect. So then we put an LED light in there. We took all the old insides out and got an LED light. So we're installing the LED light right there.
You took that nut, right?
And it fit in there perfect.
Want me to do it?
So then we're just tightening everything up. So make sure nothing vibrates loose going down the track.
So there you have it. The story of our little trolley all the way from Huntsville, Alabama. We've really enjoyed this project. It's been a long haul. It's only 2 years, but we've come through an awful lot. There are things that we ended up having to do, little tweaks here and there that we never did show on video, but it took an awful long time to get it set up the way we wanted it to, so it was not only functional, but safe and hopefully easy to maintain. So our trolley is now in service, and we've had a lot of people commenting on how they like the ride without the top. It's kind of a unique way to do a trolley, but very enjoyable for everybody, and hopefully it'll be with us for years to come, and a lot of people will get a lot of enjoyment from it.